Hey everybody. Okay, we're going to be starting this video off by talking about something I think a lot of us have had and how to know if you're receiving signs from spirit or if you're kind of seeing something into things that aren't really there. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways that we can have signs, and also I'm going to be doing some readings here, so stay tuned to the end of this because we'll do a little bit of some readings. And so basically though, what I want to talk about is what are signs from the universe and what aren't signs from the universe, okay? So a sign is something that when you see it or when you look at it, you can have a connection to it. And that's as simple as it can be. It can be anything from seeing 444, 1111, 333, 222, 555, okay? And those are the ones I can think of. I mean, there's other ones out there, but if you're looking at a clock and you see 666, I'm just going to tell you right now, something weird's going on, okay? It shouldn't go there. Okay, but none of these are necessarily bad. They're all about different ways that we can see things. And if I'm talking about number meanings at first, that's probably where we're going to start. So there's different beginnings for people in different ways of life, and sometimes we're taking a different direction, and we'll be seeing 111 everywhere, or 1111 everywhere, and that's the start of something new. That's like, or divine timing. No matter how you want to look at it, it's divine either way you want to look at it. But to me, it's definitely the path that you're on is a good path that you're taking, okay? If it's 222, generally that means there could be two paths. No, I'm just kidding. That means there could be two paths that you could be on, and you need to pick one path over the other one. But always let your intuition guide you, and always ask the question, is this good for me? Will this lead me to my highest good? Because those questions right there, you can't go wrong with the answer. Your highest good will always lead you to your highest good, your highest aspirations or intuition, so to speak. And so there's other things too. Some people with signs, besides numbers, we get dragonflies, we get butterflies. It could be something as simple as maybe asking for rain and it happens, or maybe that's kind of one of the more grander ones, but there can be different ways of seeing signs, and there could even be little things out of the corner of your eye when you ask for someone to show themselves, or you ask for a spirit guide or a loved one to show themselves. You can see things out of the corner of your eye. You can sometimes lights flicker a little bit. There can be a cold breeze or a warm breeze or a presence of some kind. And these energies right here, these are subtly tuning you into the frequency of spirit, because odds are if I died, okay, and one of my loved ones was trying to contact me, if I had the energy to do so and I appeared like full body and started talking to them, they'd be freaking out just a little bit. So a lot of these, they don't want to freak you out. Spirit doesn't want to scare you. It doesn't want to make you overly dependent on it either. And so it gives you these little droplets of wisdom, of insight, of a feeling, and then you can follow those droplets and you can follow the breadcrumbs, so to speak, to get on the right path, right? And that's sort of what it's about. It's subtle. I say it all the time. It's like trying to, at first, your intuition, your psychic ability, it's like trying to hear a whisper in a really loud thunderstorm, okay? It's very difficult at first. But in time, there's no thunderstorm, and there's just the voice. There's just intuition, and you're able to hear it, and you're able to understand it. But you have to tune into it, and you have to trust that it's there to help you. If we're looking at it in any other way other than to help us, then it's going to be hard. We're creating blocks for ourselves, and if you guys are doing that, that's absolutely fine. But if you want to take it to the next level, this is how you do it. You have to just trust and go from there. But again, don't beat yourself up if you're going through this. If you're someone who's going through developing as a psychic or a medium or whatever it happens to be, do not beat yourself up on any of these, because that's not what it's about. Just learn how to take it to the next step and look at yourself in a non-judgmental way, because that's going to be what gives you that sense of power. And that sense of power is what we need to progress, because when there is that power, that progression, we can feel it, we can understand it. Okay, we're fairly simple creatures that way. When we get a feeling and we know what's going on, it's a lot easier for us to follow our path than if we don't know what's going on, okay? So with that being said, that was kind of the signs we can look for. And it can be so many things. It can be asking for a sign and a feather falls down at your feet, or asking for a sign and at your doorstep there could be money, there could be like a quarter. There could be something like all these crazy things that normally wouldn't be there. But ask for signs, and usually Spirit in some way will try to give you a sign, even if it's just like your favorite song on the radio or their favorite song on the radio, the person who passed on. That can be an awesome way to get signs and to get answers, but trust what you get. Don't keep questioning. Don't keep asking the same question, because you need to trust what you're getting, okay? You can ask as many times as you want for them to appear and to show themselves, but you have to be willing to open your mind up enough to see that they are there. They'll reach out and contact you as much as they can, or they are able to at that time. But that's definitely something that they're around us all the time. Spirits, loved ones, spirit guides, the whole deal. And they can absolutely give us confirmation of their presence. But again, you have to shift your attention differently, because if I looked at someone in another room and I said, "Hey, are you there?" they would respond. They would say, "Yeah, I'm here," or they would make a sound of some sort, and I'd be like, "Okay, well, they're there." In the spirit world, you have to be much quieter. You have to be much more able to open yourself up, and you have to be able to listen to what's there instead of constantly chattering away, kind of like I'm doing now. But instead of constantly chattering away, you need to quiet yourself down, and you need to understand that the voices that are going to be coming in, the impressions you're going to be getting, that's what it is. It can be something as simple as a feeling, okay? When I'm doing work with people or spirits, generally I get a feeling on my left side, and it's like something has entered a doorway. The doorway being my aura. It's like something is standing there, and you can sense that. And that's a way that you can develop your abilities to be able to sense, but that's all that sensing is. It's like there's something disrupting the silence that is in your aura, or something is disrupting the energy that's in your aura. Good or bad, it doesn't matter, and those are perceived notions anyway, but it's something that's right there. I know that it's there because it just feels different. The room feels different, the energy feels different than my own energy. And by us quieting down, we get used to our own energy, and when we get used to our own energy, we can start to feel comfortable. And as I said in my last video, that leads to us growing and developing as psychics, mediums, intuitives, whatever it happens to be. Also, very important thing, it's not a sign. Well, it could be a sign. Okay, don't get dehydrated. Okay, drink plenty of water. The rest of the video is just going to be me drinking water. I'm going to edit it, so it's just this over and over. Oh, God. That's good. Okay? Drink plenty of water. Make sure to take care of yourself. And just, if it feels like a sign, but it's not something I mentioned, then it probably is a sign. Okay? But ways that you can be misled would be to constantly be looking for signs, to the point where it's almost obsessive. That can lead you to see something that you can see into things what's not there, because we're taking our perception and we're forcing it into something. And that can be disheartening to do, but it's a cycle that when we get into that, we need to be able to break ourselves from it. So, for instance, if I'm like, if I'm asking for a sign from my spirit guide, right? And I keep asking for a sign, and all of a sudden I get a sign, and it's a pretty good one, you know. It's a feeling, like a tap on the shoulder, or like an energetic feeling up here on the top of my crown chakra, or on my back. I feel like a presence. I feel a warmth, but I keep asking, and I try to see it everywhere that I look. It's being obsessive. It's like, okay, the bottle cap is white, and that means that my spirit guide's around. The wooden table is made out of wood. That means my spirit guide's around. They're around all the time. Okay, we don't have to ask for their presence. Again, it's like trying to talk to your... It's asking constantly for the confirmation. At first, when we start out, it's good to ask for confirmation, but we need to give action to the confirmation as well. So what I like to do is, it's called a calling card. And I like to get into a meditative state and to actually feel my spirit guides, which, by the way, I don't have a name for my spirit guides. I prefer to call them by an energy signature rather than a name. Because to me, it's more energy over there. I feel like when we die, we leave this place. I'm not going to be Chance anymore. And I feel like this is just an identity that I have now. And so my spirit guides That's how I communicate with them. If I get a name from them when they were on the earth, or even if they weren't, that's great. But for me personally, it's an energetic feeling that I get. So I'll ask, okay, let me feel your presence. And generally it's up here. I'll feel like a buzzing right here or in my hands. I'm feeling a little bit of a buzz now, so I think they're around a little bit, but they're not really close. But you get a buzzing feeling, and wherever it happens to be, it could be anything, like I said at first. It could be a weird sound you've never heard before. It could be like a really quiet noise. It could be a feeling. It could be a smell. It could be so many different things. And the way that you know they're signs is that they kind of grab your attention when you're not thinking obsessively about it. Okay, that's how it is. If you're thinking obsessively about it, anything can be a sign. But if you want to know if it's the real deal kind of signs, we need to focus on letting things go, letting them be. And when our attention is gently guided in that direction and not forced, then that's when we know that it's a sign. Okay? And again, this is my understanding. If you guys don't agree, let me know in the comments down below. We can chat it out. This in no way am I saying that any other way of looking at this is wrong. Just from my experience, from my personal experience, this is what I know to be true in the time being. Okay, so just take that with whatever you need to, a grain of salt, if you will, because this is just kind of my experience and I'm sharing it with you guys. Let's see. So the calling cards is a good way to get your guides close to you and experience their presence. You will, if you quiet yourself down, you let yourself meditate, you let yourself get into a space where you're just quiet, you will feel their presence. I can guarantee you will. It might be small at first, but you will feel the presence. You will understand that. And it's nothing miraculous. When you feel it, it's exciting, but it's not something, it feels like something you haven't, it feels like something you have felt before. It feels like something that's familiar. It's not like, oof, you know, and you're like jumping around being all weird. No, it feels familiar. It feels like it's a part of you. It feels like it's your guide. It feels like it's your protector or whatever it happens to be. It just feels like they've been there. It doesn't feel foreign. It just feels natural, I guess was the word I was looking for. Spent 30 seconds to try and get the word natural, so I'm doing good. And that's another thing, okay? I make fun of myself when I'm doing this because you have to have a lighthearted attitude. You have to be like a child in a sandbox and you're just playing around, okay? You don't really care what the other kids say. You're just doing your own thing. And that's how you have to be with this. We don't compare ourselves to other people. And again, I make fun of myself. But that's because it's supposed to be a fun experience. It's not supposed to be this dry, boring, stiff experience. It's supposed to be a fun experience where we kind of have a childlike wonderment about it. And we don't compare ourselves to other people. We don't do anything like that because we're the only us that exists. Nobody else is us. Only we are us. Only I am me, okay? If someone else wants to tell me how to live my life, unless they're me, which doesn't make any sense, then I'm not going to listen. I'm going to do me. You can do you. Your advice is welcome and all that, but ultimately I'm going to listen to my own internal guidance and have that be the direction I go in. And as long as I'm not hurting myself or anyone else, I view that as a way for me to move forward. I view that as a way for me to continue living a peaceful existence where I can observe and understand other people's points of view and just say what resonates with me, that's great, and what doesn't resonate with me, that's also great, but it's not for me. Okay? Doesn't mean it's bad information, it just means it's not for me. And I feel like if you guys want to take that too, absolutely go ahead with it. It makes things a lot easier to understand the world because you guys aren't going to agree with everything I say. I wouldn't want that. And it's not about agreeing with what I'm saying. It's about expanding our awareness and our kind of our circle, our knowledge circle, and putting more things in it. Because if we get too rigid in what we're doing, we're not going to be able to be very good helpers or people that can help in a more spiritual way. If we get too rigid and dogmatic in our way of thinking, other people's information won't come through to us. Okay, and an example is this: a beginner is limitless. Someone who's beginning something is limitless, like the Fool card in the tarot. The Fool card is either viewed as this Grand Master or this kind of like beginner. Normally it's beginning something, but it can also be someone who's very, very wise. But it's definitely something where we're focusing on a beginning, okay? when we reach that point where we're experts, we have very little paths that we can take because we've confined ourselves with knowledge and what we think we know. It's hard for us to keep going forward. So instead of labeling our experiences and our knowledge, we just keep learning. Because there's no end to learning, there's no end to knowledge. We just keep learning and we keep assimilating knowledge. And if someone is saying something we don't agree with, we just respectfully say that it's not for us, or we just leave the room, or we do whatever we need to do. But that's what we need to do, okay? Or click out of the video, whatever it happens to be. Just resonate with that kind of energy, I feel like, because that's what helps me, okay? And I feel like there's a lot of people out there that are like me, that are very I can be emotional sometimes, but most of the time I'm more in the logical part. It makes creativity kind of difficult, but that's usually where I come from. And I feel like there's a sense of analyzing things to death, and it turns into a huge burden. But eventually we get to a point where we're not learning for the sake of ego, right? We're not learning to say, I know this. We're learning to say, I can understand this on some levels, but I feel like I can always keep learning. I can always keep growing. So that's what I want to express. That's kind of the way I want things to go, all right? So with that being said, you guys, I hope you enjoyed that introduction, okay? Now, can you imagine a 16-minute introduction? But I hope you enjoyed that, okay? I'm going to do some readings here. I've got the Fountain Tarot, and I've got the Energy Oracle cards. I have to look at them every time. I don't know why. It's like a surprise to me. I'm like, no. But I've got the Fountain Tarot and the Energy Oracle cards. Both of these are really good. And I'm going to do some readings. These are going to be more general. Right now on the channel, I get a few people watching, but I feel like it's narrow enough that we can do these readings. And if you guys are watching this, if what I'm saying resonates with you, please take it with you. If it doesn't, don't take it with you. Simple as that, okay? Or if it really doesn't resonate, leave me a horrible negative comment. And then, oh, you know, it's just fun. It's fun for everybody when those negative comments go around. Okay, so I've got these ones. And again, I've told people I've done private readings for, and I absolutely do private readings, you guys. You can check out my website down below. But I've got the Fountain Tarot here, again. But this is really cool. This is an awesome box. This is an awesome thing. I'm not being paid to promote these guys or anything. I just really like their cards. And I think it's really cool. It comes with a little book too, but I'm going to shuffle these. And I'm going to do 3 cards. Okay. And this is going to be, we're going to do a love. We're going to do 3 cards for love, 3 cards for like general, and 3 cards for spiritual. And that way we can kind of understand where everyone is. Okay. So let me do this, and I'm just going to say out loud, I'm going to put in an intention. Please give us information that will lead us to our highest good. Please give us information that will help us grow. Please give us information that will allow us to make decisions. And please give us information that will empower us and inspire us to our highest good. All right, so 3 in love. Wow, okay, so every one of these is reversed, okay? 7 of coins in reverse. I feel like I just have to show these cards off as much as I can because they are so cool. But this one is in reverse, so I don't feel like we're harvesting anything. I don't feel like there's anything. What I feel is going on is that there's this kind of halt or this temporary sort of stagnation. I feel like there's been an argument recently, and I feel like it's a pretty big argument because I get the Hierophant next in reverse, okay? So this could be you wanting to be spiritual and your partner blocking that energy, your partner kind of blocking the path, so to speak. And this makes it difficult for us to move on. It makes it difficult for us to continue in a line of work that we can understand. So what I'm seeing here is I do feel like there has been a rift in the relationship. I feel like it has to do with something that is out of the norm. Okay, so something that's not easy for other people to understand, including your partner at this time. I'm also seeing the Two of Swords in reverse. And so this can be something that is like, you can see it from their point of view, but you can also see it from your point of view, but you're leaning more towards the partner's point of view. So I do feel like there's an influence of like, well, people think it's strange. I don't know if I want to do this if I'm going to be alone, or if I feel like I'm going to be alone. Whatever this happens to be, I do feel like there's this sense of like, I have to do this, but then there's feeling guilty about having to do this. And there's feeling guilty about being yourself, and there's feeling guilty about not... there's guilt about being yourself, and then there's guilt about not following through. It's like this buildup of emotion. Having someone controlling you in a way that makes it hard for you to understand yourself, because whenever you think about it, you feel bad already. It's like their voice is in your head. And when that happens, it makes it difficult to be yourself, because their voice is in your head, and it's telling you what they would say, right? You've taken on that psychic energy, you've put it inside of yourself, and you're letting them dictate your life. And that's what I'm seeing here. So what can we do? I'm going to draw an energy oracle card. So what can we do to get help in this situation? Okay. And you guys can absolutely book a reading with me, or we can do energy healing together where we focus on aligning the chakras, cleansing the aura, doing all of that. And then we focus on also getting rid of past traumas and events in your past. We focus on just balancing out your energy field. Okay. And trust me, you guys, I'm getting a testimonial page put together, but what my guides can do working through me is incredible. It's amazing stuff. And I know that can sound arrogant, I know that, but we are helping, and my guides are really good at helping, okay? So if you guys would want to do that, message me, we can go from there, okay? All right, so what can we do to get help in this situation? So what we can do is, okay, so I get this card. There's a weird lip on this table that is maddening, okay? I have this little table, right? And there's a weird lip, and my fingernails are short. So trying to pick up a card on a table that I can't drag the card off of because it gets caught. There we go. That took me a long time. So 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel. So this card is telling you to go towards your highest good in your spiritual destiny. So this is a huge calling, you guys. Some of you could have experienced a second awakening. I say second because I definitely feel like you've had this before, but now there's a real big calling. Now there's like this feeling of like, I need to do this now. And you absolutely can do it now, but there's also a feeling of having your knowledge, putting it in place. And the way that Archangel Uriel is looking right there is sort of contemplating, looking, and venturing out. And the best thing that we can do is we can learn and we can get information, okay? I also offer courses on whatever it is you would like to learn, but other things you can do is go with trusted books, go with people that are in kind of the same field that you would want to be in, and look at how they work. Look at how they kind of get information, because that's going to be what you're doing. Don't copy them, but emulate them. Focus on doing what they do, but finding your own voice in the process. So don't copy their style, make it your own, and then from there venture out and turn it into something that is uniquely you, because that's what I'm feeling. Absolutely right here. So the best... I shouldn't have set the card down. Shouldn't have done it. The best thing that we can do is to focus on the crown chakra, which is knowledge, which is universal wisdom, which is letting things become what they need to be. And when we do that, when we let things become what they need to be, and we focus on a sense of acknowledgement, a sense of gratitude, a sense of, I can understand why this is going on, because there's a lesson here. It's not just to persecute, to do anything like that. When we focus on it like that, we're going to start to get the gifts. We're going to start to get the answers that we've been searching for. So guys, please let me know in the comments if this is resonating with you, because I want to do this more often. Not where it's astrology signs so much, but where it's more like you guys just resonate with what I'm saying, And again, I know not a lot of people are going to click on this video, not a lot of people are going to be watching it, and I'm okay with that because the few people that do, I feel like you guys really enjoy it, and I really appreciate your feedback and your comments and your likes. So yeah, I really appreciate that. So let's go on to the general. That one had a little bit of everything, okay? But that one was more about, I feel like that was more about a love connection. So love and spirituality, okay? They're kind of at ends. They're kind of at a crossroads, so to speak, okay? So now I'm going to shuffle these for just a second. And we're going to look for the highest knowledge, the highest good, and the highest knowledge, and the highest gratitude that we can find in focusing on a general reading and getting answers for what's going on in our general reading. So this can be anything that's coming up for you guys. So let's do this. Let's focus on some good times here. Okay. Wow. Okay, so I see the Death card. I see the Queen of Coins in reverse, and I see the Two of Wands. So there is the Death card. And I really like this card. I know it's grim looking, and you guys are probably like, why do you like it? It's interesting, right? The whole deck of this is amazing, but what I'm seeing here is that there's change. Even in the general setting, there's change. And when I see the Queen of Coins in reverse, this is what it looks like upright. These cards are just beautiful. Okay, so when I see the Queen of Coins in reverse with the Death card, there is a huge refusal to change, possibly even to move. To me, it could take two meanings. So we're looking at, you could be getting evicted from a place that you've lived at for a while, or someone could have come in and tried to take your power away, and you have the ability to take your own power back, but for some reason, you're standing down, okay? You're letting your queenhood go to someone else that doesn't deserve it, because you're your own queen and no one else is your queen, okay? But that's definitely what I'm seeing. And when I see the Death card, again, we're talking about change, but it's a big change. Death doesn't usually mean death in the physical sense. It means like there's a death and rebirth in almost everything we do. Every heartbeat and every rest is like a death and rebirth. It's like it stops, it starts. So that's kind of what we're focusing on here. And when I see this, I feel like there's a sense of, and you could be in debt too. This could be someone who's in significant debt, and you guys have a way to maybe get around that, maybe declaring bankruptcy, or maybe doing whatever it is you need to do. There could be a problem with finances as well, okay? And this is a general spread, so I'm just saying the different interpretations that I'm getting here. So when I see the Two of Wands, because we haven't really addressed that, I'll show you this one. So when I see the Two of Wands here, and just a drop of water come off my lip there. First off, they're holding them kind of like chopsticks. So it's like trying to pinpoint it's like trying to go in a direction that you need to go in. So there could be a hobby that you could turn into a job, but you haven't. There could be fear there. There could be like, I'm not able to move on. I'm not able to do this because I don't feel like I'm as good as so-and-so. Again, we're talking about comparing, and that's okay if you are doing that. There's no judgment. But instead of focusing on comparing ourselves to other people, we can focus on comparing ourselves to ourselves. And the only thing we need to do is do better each day. And if we feel like we've taken a step back, we just say, you know what, we can do this. We don't judge ourselves, we don't berate ourselves, we don't belittle ourselves, because that is not us. That can be the voice of our parents, that can be the voice of people that don't understand us, but the real us, we don't need to listen to that. That's not us. That's someone else's voice inside of us, and we can just calm down our minds. We can take those spiritual scissors and we can cut the cord to that, because that negativity is not us, okay? The Two of Wands, to me, says you're making a decision, okay? And where I see the Queen of Coins in reverse and the Death card, this is a big decision. This is a huge decision. But I feel like you feel like your hand has been forced to make a decision. And so, like, literally, there's a hand in this. But That's not what I'm going off of. I'm just saying, I do feel like your hand has been forced. I feel like it's time for you to move forward and you can't sit back anymore. And this is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It seems bad, right? But this is a very good thing. This is something where we're focusing on taking our energy and we're turning it into something a lot more positive and productive. Because I feel like lately, you haven't felt that way. So right now you're going through a transformation where things will become more positive and productive because they will stabilize. And that's what this is all about. So this could be turning a hobby into a career. This could be turning a career into a bigger career where you're maybe you're getting a promotion. Maybe you are the boss and you can actually take on another project and start making more money that way. But you need to focus on the fact that you have that inner king or queen energy, and we need to not let anyone else have that, because your sense of security has been taken away in this right here when I see this upside down. Okay, so let's move on to the spiritual messages. Oh, I didn't draw the energy oracle card, so let's do that. Let's see. I'm going to shuffle these real quick. We're looking for answers. What can you do with this? What is the direction you can take with this to move to your highest good, to your highest self? What steps can you take? And I get the third chakra, Archangel Chamuel. I think that's how you say that. So we're talking about the solar plexus chakra. When we're talking third chakra, we're talking about the chakra that's generally used in mediumship, but it's also the chakra that houses a lot of energy, a lot of power. It's like a little sun that's inside of us. And to me, this talks about willpower. This talks about going forward, not doubting ourselves as much and just doing it, okay? That's definitely what I see, is that there's this sense of like, I'm not good enough, and it's like, you're as good as you're going to be, and you are very good. So to say that you're not good enough, or to say that you're not enough, it doesn't make sense. And again, I'm not judging, that's not what I'm doing, but it doesn't make sense to think that you're not good enough at being you because you're the only person that's you, okay? And it doesn't make sense to compare us to other people because you are not other people. We are us. That's all we can be, okay? We don't wake up every day in a different body. We wake up every day, same body. I hope. I mean, if I'm wrong somewhere out there, and I might be, let me know down in the comments. But we wake up every day in the same body, and we have choices. And this is about making those choices a reality. This is about taking that energy to the next step, and this is about harnessing that power, okay? And especially when I see this here, when I see the Queen of Coins, or Pentacles, in reverse, and then I see this card, you'll notice that there's an orb here, right? That's a coin right there. This guy's also holding his own coins. There's a sense of uniting the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And what that means is that you go after what you want. You don't let other people tell you what you want. You tell you what you want, and you go after it, okay? Whatever those dreams are, to quote Shia LaBeouf, if I'm saying his name right, don't let your dreams be dreams. Just do it, okay? I hope some of you guys understand what I just did there, because if you don't, I'm failing. Okay, so let's move on to the spiritual messages. Let's see what we can find out here. And let's shuffle. Shuffle again, information for our highest good in all matters that are spiritual and that lead us to our true authentic selves. Learning to express ourselves in our ultimate way, not being afraid of our own power. Give us guidance and information that will give us love and peace of mind that we have been looking for. This is much more interesting. So I feel like this is something that's going more towards a certain person. The other ones I definitely feel like that was for certain people. This one I feel like is a little bit more specific. So spiritually, what we're looking at is we see the Emperor. Okay, very masculine energy, not necessarily a male. Okay, masculine meaning that it is like stronger, kind of more aggressive energy, and especially when we're focusing on reds and oranges and a little bit of yellows in there. We're focusing on the masculine. We're focusing on warm colors. Okay, so this is like the energy to go out and do things, the energy to go out and get what you want, the energy to pursue what it is that you want. Okay, if it was in reverse, it's very aggressive. It can be tyrannical kind of energy. It can be overpowering, domineering kind of energy. But where I'm seeing here, I'm seeing the Emperor and I'm seeing Four of Coins. So you could possibly be building up a spiritual business, because that's what this is about. When I see the Emperor and I see the Four of Coins, what I see, and I'll hold this card up. What I see is I see a lot of energy being put into a dream. It's being put into something, okay? There's like a tent right there, and you have all this energy, all of this raw power going into a stable foundation, going into trying to make a living, okay? And when I say spiritual, it doesn't have to be tarot card reading or being a psychic or anything like that. It can be something that you feel is your highest purpose, something that you feel really good doing, and something that you love to do, okay? And then I get this card, though, so this is fascinating. I get the Lovers in reverse, okay? And so this is having trouble attracting a partner to you, having something where you're having a difficult time finding that partner and bringing them in. Now, you guys can leave comments, let me know what's going on, but this right here, if we're having trouble finding a partner and bringing them in, are we ready to have a partner? Are we wanting to have a partner, or are we just trying to escape something within ourselves, right? Because where I see the male energy going out and getting what it wants, I also see a sense of, are you someone who wants to be in a committed relationship? Or are you someone who's been told that that's what they want, right? Are you someone who society has said, well, you're not happy unless you have someone? Because the energy here, to me, I feel like you want someone in your life, but what's the word? Maybe some of you need someone in your life, but you don't necessarily want someone in your life. So there can be those kind of different oppositions, or you want somebody, but you don't need somebody. You shouldn't ever need anyone in our lives. We should want to be in their presence. We should want to have that sort of connection with someone and not have to force the relationship. But with this, I feel like you're focusing a lot on developing your career, and I feel like it does get lonely. But I'm going to see what we can get for an answer here. Because this one's an interesting one. I got the name Veronica that came through for some reason. Something with a V, Veronica, Vinny, something. I do feel like it's more of a Veronica, Vera, Vanessa, something like that. This is the only one I've had that came through with a name. Okay, so then we're getting this, and we get man holding a heart. See, now that is interesting. So we get the Lover's card, and then we get the man holding the heart. And I don't think I showed you the Lover's card in reverse. Let me show you. All right, Spirit's definitely here right now. I just felt a little... I can feel some pressure on my left side. So to me, the answer to this is, when it's time, it will be time. For us to obsess about it isn't going to help. We need to be calm, and we need to be centered, and we need to understand what life with a partner could possibly be like. Instead of focusing on what exactly we may think we want, let's focus on letting things happen. Let's focus on letting things in, and what happens towards our highest good happens. We don't have to imagine every single detail, and if they don't meet every single teeny tiny detail of the criteria, then they're out. No, we need to let things happen, and we need to understand that things will happen in time for us to understand things even better. So that's what I'm seeing here, is we need to let things go. We need to let ourselves experience life, and we need to stop obsessing, so to speak. We need to focus more on coming at it from a place of love, and not from a place of like, I need to have this in my life right now. or I have to have this in my life right now or else it doesn't mean anything. You need to be grateful for what's in your life now, and then we can focus on what's coming in your life in the future, okay? So that's definitely the message that I'm getting there. But that is your readings, guys, and of course we can absolutely go into more detail. I do readings, I do energy healings, we do all of that with me and my guides. But all you have to do is visit my website down below, or you can just email me. The link's down below, the email's down below. And you can tell me what's going on, and we can go from there, and we can get more detailed information for you. But that is what I'm seeing, you guys, and I'll try and make another video tomorrow, and it'll be a little quicker than this one. This is almost 40 minutes long. So I love you guys so much. Namaste, and I want you guys to have an amazing rest of your day, and tomorrow, and the next day, and on forever, okay? So you guys, love you. Thank you so much for listening, and have an awesome one.